Being time, I'll call the appointments committee meeting of the Gardner City Council's Friday, August 25th, 2023 meeting to order. I'd like to record to reflect that all members of the committee are present. Chair Tyros, Councilor Walsh, Councilor Mack, and present we have Mayor Nicholson. First order of business are appointments. Item 11029, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Jane Clayville to the position of Disability Commission member for term expiring July 6, 2026. Report from Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. As you're aware, the Disability Commission has to be made up of the city's ADA coordinator, who in our capacity is Deborah Pond, our HR director, and then anyone who either themselves has a documented disability or is an immediate family member of someone with a disability. Ms. Claybaugh comes to us with experience being the mother of two cognitively disabled adults. She's a Gardner resident, has been very active through the GGAARC, through different programming that she does through the Congregational Church that was here, the Gardner Senior Center, former middle school teacher for the Oakmont School District, who recently retired not that long ago, and she actually lives in the downtown and has been active involved in just different community events that we have here in Gardner. I think she'd bring a really good perspective to the commission based on her experiences, and I'm happy to put her appointment forward.
Excellent. Councilor Mack.
No, I just thank her for offering to serve on this commission, which has not been active in several years. I'm excited to see it being reformed and having some more members assigned to this commission, and I hope to see them soon get together and start meeting on a regular basis. I appreciate this candidate's experience with a lot of our local agencies that support our disabled citizens. So I think Jane will be an asset to this commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no questions.
No questions. And I actually believe from your report, Mr. Mayor, that she had reached out.
She did.
To offer, and I think that's just great. So I have no questions.
I move to recommend confirmation of the appointment.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Walsh, second by Councilor Mack to recommend the mayor's appointment. Is there discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion passes. Item 11030, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Francine Pera to the position of Disability Commission member for a term expiring July 6, 2026. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Pera also approached me of her own volition, asking to serve in this commission. She is the mother of a daughter who is deaf, her experiences in dealing with someone with that disability, I think, brings a good perspective. Right now, the only the members of the Disability Commission are mainly mobility challenged members or people who struggle with autism. This is adding that population into the mix of that conversation that's there too, so I think that brings another good perspective on this. She actually is a former disability commissioner for the city from the 1990s, who took some time away and is now interested in coming back. She's a former teacher from the former Holy Rosary School, now Holy Family Academy, who currently resides in South Gardner. Her son, Chris Pera, is also on our historic commission, and I think she'd be a great asset to the commission. Thank you.
Councilor Walsh.
I have no questions. I've known Francine for decades, and I think she's got the background and the temperament and the ability to make a real renewed contribution to the commission.
Thank you. Councilor Mack.
I've known Mrs. Pera for a long time as well, and not only through her firsthand experience with her child, that she's worked with a lot of students when she worked in the Gardner Public Schools as well, with kids of students with different disabilities. So there's no doubt in my mind that she will be an asset to this commission, and I appreciate her stepping forward to offer to be a member. I just want to say, though, I believe there'll be one more vacant position on this commission.
Correct.
So if anybody is interested in to have somebody who actually has a disability, the physical disability, I think their input would be important. As a daughter of somebody who does have a physical disability, my mom is legally blind. You know, the experience I have is different than what the person who has a disability experiences. So I would love to see somebody, if there's anybody interested out there, contact the mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, and it's really great to see that this individual also volunteered for this commission and to have different diversity and experiences on Commission, so I entertain a motion.
So move to recommend confirmation of the appointment.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Walsh, second by Councilor Mack, to recommend the mayor's appointment. Is there discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion passes. Item 11031, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Stephen Hirons to the position of Sealer of Weights and Measures for a term expiring July 11th, 2024. Report from Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a reappointment. The Sealer of Weights and Measures position is a one-year annual appointment, so this is something that came before this committee last year. Mr. Hirons has been in this role for over a decade. At this point, his father previously held the role before him. It's something that making sure that, you know, if you go get a gallon of gas at the gas station, the gallon is actually a gallon. The scales at a grocery store, if you're getting a pound of apples, is actually a pound. He certifies all of that. There's a lot more work that he does in working with those businesses to make sure that we're receiving the payments we should be receiving for that work as well. I'm very happy with his performance in this role. He is currently working and training someone to see if, when he eventually decides to step down from the position, there's not someone who's completely lost in the way too. So the fact that he's even taking that interest in making sure that someone else gets trained and shadows him for a little bit too is something that I think shows his dedication to the city and to the job that he's been doing there too. So I'm happy to re-put up his appointment again.
Thank you. Councilor Mack.
I have nothing. Mr. Hirons has been doing this for years, and I support this appointment.
Councilor Walsh.
I've known Steve since he started in this position, and his father before him. It's a long family tradition with this department, and a long history of success. So I'm happy to support the recommending confirmation, and I'm happy to support it.
Couldn't agree more with my fellow councilors. Entertain a motion.
I move that we recommend the appointment to the council of Stephen Hirons for the position of Sealer of Weights and Measures.
So, second motion.
Motion made by Councilor Mack, second by Councilor Walsh to recommend the mayor's appointment. Is there discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion passes. Item 11032, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Robert O'Keefe to the position of Information Technology Director for term expiring July 11th, 2026. Report from Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. O'Keefe has served in this position for almost a decade at this point. He's been someone who's really taken off with the technology side that we have here at City Hall. Now that he is just here at City Hall, there's been a lot more work in terms of cybersecurity updates, in terms of device updates that we have here too, in terms of machines that were older than I am now being replaced and brought up to date with modern times. I'm really happy with the amount of ingenuity that he's put into the position in terms of finding new avenues to accomplish similar methods, be it us having a software subscription that we've just had for forever and finding a newer, cheaper option that still meets our needs, but is more conducive to the systems that we have here, moving us on to more of a cloud-based system rather than a server-based system, which allows more access to, if we're at a different location off-site, we can continue working forward. That came integral during the time of the pandemic, where we did have some people working from home for a while. It really brought the offices of City Hall onto an online format if we needed to transition to that way. We still have that capability, even though we are back in office now too, but it also provides us with a more secure backup to our servers. If there was ever a fire here in City Hall or the servers got damaged up until Bob's backups here that we have, we really didn't have any way to recover those files. Now, not only are they backed up on a cloud, just general system, they're on our servers here, they're on the clouds, and they're also on a backup server located in Northern Ireland. So it's something that we have a 3-level backup security system that's on that. There's really a lot that's happened here, and I'm happy to put Director O'Keefe's appointment back up.
Thank you. Councilor Walsh.
Well, and as I understand it, although it may have been a couple of years now that he took over the IT responsibilities at the school department as well.
That's been since taken back, and the school has their own IT, and he's just here in the city side of things doing more work, mainly with the public safety departments that had been put on the dispatch director and a collateral duty for one of the firefighters. Bob has taken that over now and taken so that we've consolidated all non-school activities.
Is there a recent grant to update some of the software, the connections?
Yes, we received about $250,000 recently from the Commonwealth through the fiber optic cable grant that the Community Compact Coalition puts together in the administration. That's going to be connecting. Right now we have existing fiber optic cable connections between City Hall and the Police Department, and City Hall and the Fire Department. This will allow us to connect from those locations, because once you connect to one, you can kind of branch out from there like a spider web. The police department to the Gardner Middle School, which is already fiberly connected to the high school and the new elementary school, so that allow the police department direct access to the security cameras at our schools. Also from City Hall down to the new community center that's set to be constructed at the Waterford Street School location. And then the current Gardner Senior Center will also be included in that, as well as the radio towers that are currently located up at the top of Reservoir Hill, that houses the equipment that runs all radio communication equipment for the police, fire, and DPW trucks that we have. Right now, they're all on separate internet accounts, so we're paying approximately $50 a month for each of these internet accounts at these locations. This will consolidate that into one single $50 per month internet account, since we're all connected that way too. So it acts as a large cost saving for the city as well.
And will he be overseeing the implementation of these new systems?
Yes, he will. Yes.
I'm happy to support his. I think he's done a great job. You know, very provided a lot of ingenuity, particularly during the pandemic. I thought that it was instrumental in keeping the operations of the city from the technology point of view, adapting to the situation in a very unique and productive way.
Thank you, Councilor Matt.
I support this appointment. I've known Bob since I worked with him at the school department and here in City Hall, and this is something that's constantly evolving, and that we really need to have somebody who's always up to date with our technology needs, so I support his appointment.
I also support Director O'Keefe. I've been really impressed with especially how on top of cybersecurity is. It's always in the news about municipalities getting hit by cyber attacks, so I think he's done a really outstanding job.
Since I've been mayor here, there's been 7 instances in which Bob has protected the city preemptively that we could have been one of those people put forward, but we didn't even have to think about it because it was stopped before it started.
I move that we recommend confirmation of the appointment.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Walsh, second by Councilor Mack to recommend the mayor's appointment. Is there discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion passes. Item 11047, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Daryl Sweeney to the position of electrical inspector for a term expiring August 6, 2026. Report from Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This is a reappointment. Mr. Sweeney has served in this position for also over a decade. It's something that is a lot more than just simple electrical inspections. He also oversees the repair and maintenance of all of our Victorian lights in the city. The engineering department and National Grid take care of our larger street lights. However, this position takes care of all of the black Victorian lights that we have in the downtown. Anytime that we need any work on the electrical boxes at any of our intersections, every time a traffic light goes down, that's Daryl who has to go out and repair and work on that too. So it's a lot more than just inspections that Daryl's overseeing. However, he does do inspections whenever someone pulls an electrical permit as well. He's been an extreme asset to us here at City Hall. The previous building commissioner and the current building commissioner have reaffirmed that nonstop, that the work he does is really invaluable to the operations of the city here, and I'm happy to put him back up for consideration.
Thank you. Councilor Mack.
I have no questions.
Nor I.
No, I think Daryl Sweeney does a great job, and I actually didn't know he was in charge of some of those other things, so that's really good.
Move we recommend confirmation.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Walsh, second by Councilor Mack to recommend the mayor's appointment. Is there discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion passes. Item 11041, a measure confirming the city clerk's appointment of Elizabeth Doran to the position of assistant city clerk for a term expiring July 25th, 2026. Madam Clerk. Absolutely.
Everyone, this is Council Walsh, Council Tyros, and Judy, and that's Liz Doran. So as you guys are aware, John, our previous assistant clerk, John, had retired, and at the end of June, and then it's just been me and Faith, so I put his position up. There was about 24 applicants, and out of the 24, I interviewed 5. Liz was the only in-house person that applied for this position. So after looking at all the interviews, she was the best qualified, seeing that she has already worked in City Hall. She's had about 2 weeks of training with Faith, and then Faith has been gone the entire month of August, so it's just been trial by fire. This whole month of August, just me and Liz, and she's done an excellent job with the customers, the birth certificates, the craziness. It's been quite a challenging month with just me and her. All the stuff that normally doesn't happen on a daily basis has all of a sudden happened this whole month, and she's done a great job, and I want her appointed. and she's here also. Do you have any questions for her?
If you'd like to, just welcome yourself.
I don't, this is my first appointment meeting, so I apologize. I did work in the building department. I started out in the building department, loved being in the building department, but when I saw this opportunity become available, I just thought it was a little bit more of a step up, and if I would love to stay here and retire from City Hall. I don't want to go anywhere. And I figured this would be another great step for me. I love it in that office. It is crazy busy, but I like being crazy busy, so.
That's great, thank you. Council Wolf?
Well, welcome. I know you just started in City Hall, or the City Hall complex earlier this year, as I read your resume. And it's an impressive resume, and you have a good recommendation from the city clerk. The only thing I wanted to ask you about is, and you brought it up yourself, that you hope to stay here and retire here. In looking at your resume, it appears that many of the positions you've taken, you've kept for a year or two, sometimes, and right now even less than that, from the building department. I'm wondering, is that a trend that we need to be concerned about?
No, before I came to City Hall, I worked at one of my former jobs was a nursing home in Sterling. That job was taken away from me as a business office manager. My job was eliminated. I was out on sick leave and the job was eliminated, so I wouldn't be here if that didn't happen. I would still be there.
Our good fortune.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Council Mayor.
I just want to welcome you. I mean, it's your resume, you have a vast experience, clerical and as well with, customer service, which really the city clerk office is. It is always crazy busy, and I appreciate you putting in for the transfer, because you probably could have stayed in the quiet, more sedate building department.
Yeah.
But I did see you on one of your first days downstairs getting, being shown around. So I welcome you, and I hope you're here for many years.
Thank you.
And I also welcome you. I think your experience, you've seen a few different walks of life, so I think dealing with different constituents and their needs, you'll experience and be very good. So welcome and good luck. Entertain motion.
I make motion we move the appointment.
Second the motion.
Motion made by Councilor Mack, second by Councilor Walsh to recommend the city clerk's appointment. Is there discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion passes.
Thank you.
The next section, we have new business, which we actually, we do have, in our previous meeting, we voted to place the status of appointments by the mayor on our agenda for this current meeting. So if the committee would be pleased, we could bring that item up.
Yeah, I initiated this, so I'll take the lead. And the mayor was good enough to provide us at the last meeting a listing of City of Gardner appointments through June 30th. Before I ask any particular questions, are there any updates other than the ones we've had today?
There are other ones we have here today. There are some, particularly the Municipal Grounds Commission, that in speaking with Director Arnold, who works with that commission there too, didn't realize that it was a number different than the Cemetery Commission, because historically people had served on both of those in the past, so there are 2 openings on the Municipal Grounds Commissions. There are some appointees that didn't realize that their appointments had lapsed. The previous administration had a policy of they come to me to request a new appointment, where we are trying to take more of an active approach and going through and being like, hey, your appointment's about to expire, would you like to continue on in this role? And I think that has led to us working towards filling things like the Disability Commission that we have here. The Historical Commission's in need of several other additional people on that one. So it's something we're making an effort to. We are actively looking for more individuals willing to step up into these positions, whether they're volunteer or paid with a small stipend. And at this point in time, we're just searching for people still too.
Well, thank you for that update. Some of the there are certain boards and commissions that are more significant in the importance to the city's operations and the city's well-being than others, and in particular, the two that I wanted to bring up today, at least, were on the planning board and the zoning board of appeals. There's one member whose appointment expired in 2019, and two others that, well, just that one in particular, on the planning board, and I'm wondering what the status of that might be.
We reached out to see if they want to be reappointed, and the answer is yes. It's just one of those we were waiting for the answer from them.
And
once it was noticed.
and you'll decide whether that's something that you want to do?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
The second member, underneath that person, it says, December 3rd,
2014.
it's 14?
It is 14.
It is 14?
It is 14.
Okay, I just thought maybe it was a typo. Okay, and that member is,
We've reached out, we're waiting for your
Okay.
feedback on that one.
Yeah, and maybe at our next meeting, we'll have an
Oh,
update
yeah.
on those.
Absolutely.
The other one is the zoning board of appeals, where the chairman's position is about to expire, and the second member expired a couple of years ago.
Yes.
I'm wondering what the status of those is.
So the third member who was on there passed away. That was Mr. Gary, Michael Gary. So Mel Cornett, who was the alternate, we filed a temporary appointment certificate for him. Mel is deciding whether or not he wants to stay as a permanent role or just move back to the alternate. Mr. Antea wants to remain the alternate on that one. This is one too, we are reviewing the ordinances that we have, because this is an instance where state law says that the commission can have up to 5, but it can be further restricted by ordinance. We had to go back and look. Our ordinance restricts that further down to 3.
Right.
Those don't include the alternates. The alternates are on top of that because, but state law also says that you need a minimum of 3 members voting and present at every meeting. That's not one that if one is absent, you can continue to have the meeting. You need all 3 present for it too. So there's a time commitment with that one too. So we are looking for individuals who are able to understand the more fine-tuned knowledge that comes through zoning, while also being able to commit the time to that, because again, if one member is out and we don't have the alternates there too, we have to cancel the meeting right off by law.
And first, I'm sorry.
I just have one
Absolutely.
follow-up on the zoning board, and that is Mr. Hegland, who I think, being former director of public works here in the city,
Correct, yes.
being an engineer and having his background and experience, and you know, he's been a valuable member of that, and I see that it'll be 2 years and a month or two and I'm wondering what the status of that is.
And it's the same as the other ones. We've reached out. It's one of those that came as a result of the process of going through the whole book and the binder to see when the appointments expired, that we had a lot more expired.
So we can expect some update on that at our next meeting?
I believe so, yes.
That'd be great. Those are the two that I was particularly concerned with.
Thank you, and I think you actually just gave me a question that came to my mind is for the stipend positions.
Yeah.
Is it stipends determined by state law or city ordinance?
City ordinance.
City ordinance.
City
okay.
ordinance. That's, if you remember when we did the compensation for the elected officials, it was attachments A, B, and D, and C was missing. C is the appointed boards and commission members.
Council Matt, did you have anything further?
no, I'm just, just hoping that the vacant positions are filled, and again, that if anybody's interested in serving on these commissions, or committees, that they reach out to the mayor's office.
And do we actively advertise on our website or
We
social
do.
media? So
We do, or we did not used to, but we are
we
now.
are now.
And these are also ones too that we went back and checked because again, I'll use the Disability Commission as an example. 2 of the members have passed away. So they had been meeting on 3 and then one wasn't able to make it because of health restrictions there. So then people forgot, is it 3 or 5? Or is it 5 or 7? So going through again on the state law and seeing if there is no local ordinance, which most of these boards and commissions actually don't have a Gardner ordinance that dictates their roles, their membership, how many is available to them, where do we fall within the range that's there? Because state law will sometimes say up to 5, up to 7, up to minimum 3, minimum 6, things of that nature. So reviewing them so we know exactly where we stand, because we don't have that documented on our own end.
Thank you.
The Severy School trustees have never been dissolved, but the Severy School Trust has been dissolved. So it's one of those that we have permanent appointments on our list that we carry forward, but Reverend Hines is no longer in state, and the Severy School Trust is no longer active. So it's one of those
Something
things.
that the council could do?
Yes, exactly. We're looking at seeing those things.
To disband
The trustees.
on our level?
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what we're looking for with this whole process.
Good.
So in addition to the zoning in the planning board, municipal grounds, and conservation are two areas that.
Correct.
I think that,
Conservation in particular is one that's involved in a lot of development issues.
Yes.
Like the zoning board and the planning board.
Yeah, we have reached out to a couple individuals and trying to find people who are willing to commit to the time commitment for it. That's been a little difficult.
Well, filling positions generally is.
It's a little difficult all around.
and just to say that we very shortly might have a, former city councilor who's not running for re-election that might want to serve on the commission.
At the mayor's pleasure, yeah.
Is there any other new business?
No.
Nothing for me, I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Walsh, second by Councilor Mack to adjourn. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, no? We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
You know what else did we read the commission?
Commission?